Thanks for coming on. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, man. It's an exciting day, and appreciate you guys taking time to have me on.
Rob, I'm really happy for you, man. I think this is a really exciting. I've known you for a while, and this is a really exciting challenge for you. I want to start here, though. I don't know if people know how successful of a sports agent you were before you took this job. You represented James Harden, who's probably going to win the MVP. A lot of people talk today about the fact that you represented Kobe for 20 years, but it's not like after Kobe retired that you didn't keep going. You did, and Landmark, your agency, is a really good one of the top ones. What made you leave that, where you were basically set up for you and your family for a long time to take this challenge on?
You know, it's a great question, and I feel so grateful to have worked for 20 years representing players, and I just think, in a sense, that equipped me for this calling, because I got to sit on the other side and look at it through the lens of what's important to an agent, what's important to an NBA player that's a free agent, and looking at an organization and help guys make those decisions. It gave us really a unique perspective. And this felt, John, more like not a decision, but more just like a call. You know, it just felt like a calling to something great. The first time I started to talk with Irvin and Jeannie about it, it just felt so natural. As we talked about today in the press conference, the Lakers platform is a global one that has the ability just to bring hope and inspiration to so many people around the world, and to be a part of that movement and helping architect winning here just seemed like an exciting call.
Rob, you said a couple of nice things about Kobe, like he is what Beethoven is to music, what Michelangelo is to art, what Shakespeare is to words, and that he's like the sugar that dissolves in your coffee. Obviously, unbelievably high praise for Kobe Bryant. What I'm curious is, did Kobe have a role in getting you in this mix and in this conversation in the first place?
Well, it's interesting. For 18 years in representing him, I was so close to the Lakers and their daily operations, and helping manage that unbelievable relationship with the partners of Kobe and the Lakers, and having had other players on the team as well, that it drew me on a daily basis to work with Jeannie Buss and Linda Rambis and Tim Harris. And so when it came time for them to identify someone that could combine with Magic and have the skills that they were looking for in terms of the collective bargaining agreement and negotiating contracts and trades and recruiting and signing free agents, it was like a when Harry met Sally moment. It was like, okay, we've been together all these years. Let's do this.
Rob Pelinka, the new GM of the Lakers, is joining us. Rob, one of the things that didn't come up at the press conference that you would know much better than us is one of the challenges for any GM in the league now with this new CBA is to get out from under bad contracts or contracts that you maybe no longer want. Without mentioning names, because I don't think you can, is there a way to do that for not just you but other GMs under this new CBA? If you have a long-term deal with a player that's no longer in your rotation, is there a way to get out of those, or do you just have to find a way to make it work?
John, it's a great question. The new collective bargaining agreement, which kicks in this coming July, actually, it has a system in place that makes moving and doing trades easier than the old regime. So that's, encouraging to be able to make moves. The system is more flexible and more free-flowing. The new system does create an advantage, even more aggressive advantage for the home team to have an advantage with free agents. But in terms of making trades and freeing up cap space and all of the things you're alluding to, this new system is more GM friendly in that regard.
You are a protege of sorts of Arn Tellem, who has jumped into this world as an NBA executive now. Did you talk to him before this, making this decision, and what advice did he give you?
I'm so grateful for Arn and how he opened the door for me to get in this business in 1998. I had graduated from the University of Michigan Business School and the University of Michigan Law School, and he was the one to hire me and sort of break me into the business. And his sort of GM tree is impressive. Bob Myers, who's a wonderful general manager of the Golden State Warriors, and Neil Olshey, who does a fine job with the Portland Trailblazers. We all worked in the same office for Arn Tellem, so he's had a profound influence and certainly left his impact in the league. And in my communication with him as he joined the executive team with the Detroit Pistons was that he just loved, helping be a part of a brand and a team. And I think it's a natural progression for player representatives. It's worked really well for the others I just mentioned, and Arn fully supported this move and was excited about it.
Rob, what are you looking at for the rest of this season? I mean, we've got about 19, 20 games left. They played really well last night. I did the game in Phoenix, and that might have been my favorite D'Angelo Russell game, 28 points, no turnovers, but they played really well. What are you looking for? What are you focusing on over these last 18 or 19 games?
I think I met with Coach Walton this morning, and, we agree that the most important things every night when you put on the Laker jersey is you got to compete with everything you have. So we want to keep that drive to compete every night, like the game last night against the Suns. We want to keep that going. And then it is a point in the season where we know we're not going to be in the playoffs. So development is really key. I think you don't know what it's like to go swim in the ocean with the sharks unless you jump in. So I think for these younger players, the more reps they can have and the more in-game moments they can have, that's how they grow and develop and learn how to be better going into next season. So I think nightly competition and then making sure we continue to develop our young players are probably the North Stars for the rest of the season.
One of the things that fans talk about a lot is the fact that the Lakers have a top 3 protected pick. And, that pick is not guaranteed by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, how much do you think about that? And do you have sort of 2 plans, one where you keep the pick and one where you don't wind up with the pick?
Jeannie Buss and I were joking this morning that, Irvin Magic Johnson is one of the most blessed and fortunate and lucky guys. So we're going to have to make sure he's at the lottery in New York with his good luck charm to get that top pick. But I think we're prepared either way. Of course, that would be an extraordinarily positive event for our franchise. But in the interim period, Irvin made a great move to make sure that we got the other first-round pick in the trade they did with Houston. And so, we're covered. There's ways to get into the draft. I've seen other GMs over the year that don't have a pick. All of a sudden you make a move and you get a pick. So, we'll be very active. I think growing through the draft is an important thing. And hopefully we end up with 2 first-round picks this year. That would be a best-case scenario.
Well, Rob, first of all, congratulations. I think this is an exciting time for Laker fans. And one of the things I was really encouraged by today was, there was some division under the previous management where you had to kind of pick a side if you were in our building. And now it sounds like you're committed, what Mason likes to call a straight line from Jeannie through Tim Harris, through Magic, all the way down to you, all the way down through the players. And at least that's the way I interpreted it. Did I get that right, that it's important for you to have continuity from the top to the bottom?
Absolutely, John. And to be honest, I love how you started that question by talking about the fans. I feel like that thread runs to the Lakers fans. Like, they're a part of this too. And at the leadership level, we all have to be lockstep, and we're committed to that. And I want to be the type of general manager for the Lakers that if you see me at a game or if fans have input, we are open to being in this together. And a community that shares and a community that has opinions grows stronger. And I just look at this as kind of a nice pivot point in the Laker story and in Laker history where we can come together and experience greatness together as a team.
You mentioned in your press conference about how everybody's idea is a good idea, which I think is, to me, that's a state-of-the-art operation. And you mentioned a round table. Do you know all the players that are going to be at your round table right now? And do you intend to add somebody to the front office? Do you intend to add another assistant general manager or somebody to sort of fill out that room?
That's a great question, and I think it's an evolving thing for sure. We just started yesterday, right? So it's a process, but Magic and I both said, hey, the first thing we need to do is let's see the forest before we start worrying about any trees or any, positions to hire or changes to make. So I think as this just began yesterday, we're going to really assess the forest and get a real clear and clean grasp of the areas that we're really good at, and then a clear and crisp grasp on the areas where we might need improvement and other team members in. But I think the assessment is first, and then filling in the holes would come down the road after we have a clear picture of the bigger picture.
Have you already heard from other agents, like guys that you used to be competitors with that now you're going to be across the table from? Is it lighthearted fun? Or are they saying now we're coming for you, or what's that going to be like?
It's going to be fun. I was thinking the other day, it's almost like agents, of course, compete, in an aggressive way with one another because there's only a few lottery picks every year, so there's recruiting competition. And, it's the same as like when Larry used to play Magic. It's like
right.
Competing at this ultra level. But unlike the NBA players where they had the USA basketball game to kind of come together and work together and win together, there's nothing like that for agents. So it's going to be actually fun to now see them as partners instead of someone you're competing against. And I think Irvin has made it very clear that we want to develop really strong relationships of respect with the top agents. And that's something that we'll have to work hard to do. And we know that only comes through a course of conduct. And our hope is that they'll judge us based on the respect we treat them with, the integrity we carry ourselves with, and that all starts now. And we hope we'll be judged on our work.
One of the really cool things that I think you mentioned in the press conference was, or maybe it was Magic, who said that you've already thought about the next 5 free agent classes. Have you in your head kind of circled names that you think are the right names or the potential names that you can add to the franchise?
That's all something that will crystallize. I think Luke was on the road, and literally we had our first day with him. He's going to be a part of everything. And I think that you'll see kind of a triangle operating between Irvin and myself and Luke on all those decisions, the right fit. And I think that's something that's being evaluated right now. I wouldn't say there's crystal clarity, like we need to go get player X or we need to go get player Y, but clearly we'll architect this thing so all the pieces fit together the right way. And the hope is that there is at some point a great free agent or two that we can add to the mix and get right back into being an elite franchise in the NBA.
All right, last thing for you, Rob. I'm friends with a guy you're friends with, Chuck Swirsky, who's the play-by-play guy for the Chicago Bulls and a really good one. And I sent him a note the other day. I said, didn't you tell me that Pelinka used to do color for you on some Michigan games? And this is what he wrote back. He said, yes, he did a great job, better than great. He would have been a star in broadcasting, no doubt about it. So next time Michael Thompson's got to go to the Bahamas, Rob, your phone's going to ring, and I'm going to try. You'll probably say no, but we'll try and talk you into sitting next to us.
Well, first, Chuck is a dear friend and clearly one of the best-in-class people in what you guys do. And for him to say positive things about me makes me feel very, very grateful. But I'll stick to my day job.
I had a feeling.
Let you guys stay in your area of expertise.
All right, my last thing, the Washington Post just posted an article about you. They said Pelinka is already a smashing success at reminding people of Rob Lowe. Many online observers today are comparing him to the 52-year-old actor famed for his fabulously good looks. Those are their words, fabulously good looks. How often do you get that, and what is the burden of being a good-looking guy?
Oh, my goodness gracious. You'll definitely probably have to interview my wife about that topic because it's hard for me to even think along those lines. But it is somewhat ironic that my name is shared with the person they're comparing, and I get that very often on airplanes and in Uber rides and different things. And it's funny, but in terms of whether that's good looking or not, you'd have to take that one up with my wife, Kristen.
Well, we were just saying that you get Rob Lowe, John gets Will Arnett, and I get Bob Saget. I think you win.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
There you go.
Well, Rob, most of all, thank you for doing this. I know you got a bunch
Rob.
of these today, and we're going to be really pulling for you, and very excited for you and Magic to take control of the wheel here. Good luck.
Appreciate it, guys. I'm here for you anytime, so reach out.
All right, thanks Rob. All right, there's Rob Pelinka, the new general manager of the Lakers, and I thought I'm getting a lot of reaction. More here's Randy. The more this guy talks, the more confident I am the Lakers got the right guy at GM. What jumps out at me is the contrast between the guys who used to be in those chairs and the guys that are in them now.
Right.
We almost never heard from Magic and Jim, or from Mitch and Jim. It seems like Magic and Rob are not only unafraid to share their vision, but excited to do it. And so hopefully that'll be the case.
Yeah, I also, one of the things I really liked was the fact that he said they're going to operate like a triangle. He, Magic, and Luke Walton. You know, we've said this over and over again.
About that word.
You hate the word triangle. But we've said this over and over again that, you know, Luke has a vision, Luke has a system, and it is incredibly important for him to be part of that decision-making process so that they find the players that work and fit into what Luke hopes this team to be.